fellow Kaiju not Kaiju fans, Godzilla Car here for another video. Today we're going to be talking about an analog horror series, Hydra 3. It includes 4 videos, a website, and a possible second channel. It was also created by AQ Studio. So without further ado, let's get into it. And, of course, make sure to go to their channels and support their creators. First, let's go over the website, hydra3.net, and it is very simple. The main page reads, "Welcome to hydra3.net. In May of 2005, Oklahoma was struck with an unusually violent tornado outbreak. Eyewitnesses reported seeing glowing lights within the funnels of these tornadoes, sparking online discussion. Hunter Graves, a meteorology student from Texas A&M, analyzed the storm systems and discovered unusual patterns within the conditions surrounding the storms. It appeared that an underlying phenomenon was responsible. The Hydra theory, as theorized by Graves, states that violent storm patterns, including tornado outbreaks, are connected through an underlying phenomenon. Currently, not much is known about this phenomenon other than the appearance of green glowing lights that accompany the affected storm systems. Graves is dedicated to uncovering the truth of the phenomenon, no matter the cost. Stay tuned to HydraTheory.net for more updates. Below it is a link that takes you to the main YouTube channel, and we see a white symbol that I believe is just the logo. Now below that is a section labeled Evidence. In this section, there are 4 photos. We'll be getting the context of these photos soon. Below the photos, we get Hunter Graves 2005, and in the black border, Export Archive and powered by Seraphix. Back up top, above the top panel, we see Exports Archive again, and next to it, we see March 2005 and May 2005. If we click on March 2005, we are taken to a page that has an old ad about ultra light speed connection from Seraphix Rep Solutions. Now that's the second time we hear about this company, and I promise it won't be the last. Now, clicking on May 2005, it takes us back to the main page. When we hit About, we are taken to a page where we learn more about Hunter Graves. Hunter Graves is a 24-year-old meteorology student at Texas A&M. Originally from Duncan, Oklahoma, Hunter moved to Texas in 2003 after the disappearance of his father, Dr. Alistair Graves, in hopes of supporting his family with a college degree. In 2005, Hunter began HydraTheory.net to document his research of anomalistic weather phenomena. Next to About is Shop, which just takes us to the AQ Studio shop. Now from what I can see, there's no hidden things in the site, so we'll be moving on to the YouTube channel, Hydra Theory. It was created on June 12th, 2018, has 4 videos, and currently sits at about 24K subscribers. The first video was uploaded on May 18th, 2026, and is titled 2005 Twin Tornado Incident. The description reads, "The earliest video published to Hunter Graves' website. Archived November 2005. It's May 6th, 2005 at 5:33 p.m. and this segment of the video is set in Norman, Oklahoma. We see a flag waving in the wind on a windy day, the clouds having a greenish hue that lets us know that there's a tornado on its way. We cut to a person seemingly laying down with their camera in hand, keeping it trained on the window where we see a storm brewing. Then the tornado warning blares from either a radio or the TV. The tone stops, and in the quiet space between the tone and the automatic voice message, we hear a man shouting. To me, it sounds like he's saying, "Leave now," but I'm not 100% sure. Leave now! We cut to a camera person walking out of their bedroom towards the stairs. We cut again to them on the first floor and heading outside. This is where the tape gets glitchy and we can hear the tornado sirens starting to blare. We quick cut to a tornado out in the distance in a field. It doesn't seem to be moving, but we all are thinking the same thing. Get inside and into your basement, you idiots. Because we all know what it means if you look at the tornado and it looks like it's staying still. Nothing good. Well, 50-50 on whether it's good or bad. 50 good being it's moving away from you, 50 bad where it's moving towards you. After another cut, we do see him running down the stairs to the basement, I think. They got into the safe place, and just in time too, as we see the lights flicker and the roar of the tornado growing louder and louder until finally the tornado strikes. Then we see the inside of the tornado. In this quick scene, we see a strange green glow that brightens the darkness for a split second before the footage ends. We are told that between May 3rd and 8th, 2005, 28 tornado incidents were reported across Oklahoma, ranging from F1s to F4s. In total, 70 lives were lost, and the injured are numbered in the hundreds. The incident will be known as the 2005 glowing tornado outbreak. It then says 2005 Hunter Graves with a link to the site. But obviously, this isn't the end of the video, as we're only 2 minutes and 24 seconds into our 11 minute and 13 second video. And there haven't been any twin tornadoes on screen yet. We're suddenly hit with a very retro intro, which props. It really does look like an intro you'd see in the early to mid 2000s. This time, the screen is blue with white text announcing that it was Hunter. Now, prior to the intro, the white text was on a black screen, so it seems like we have two characters that are established. Hunter, and I shall call the other character the post-it for now. Anyways, we are effectively seeing Hunter's video partly about the Norman, Oklahoma footage and his own account of footage. He explained that the cameraman's home was struck head-on by an F4, but the family survived despite their property damage. He shows a radar of the event before he states that it was the worst of the 28 tornadoes. He shows another screen that shows the tornado paths all over Oklahoma. He goes on to say that the eyewitnesses said that the storms were unusually violent and reported seeing green glowing lights within, similar to what we saw in the footage, which he proceeds to reshow in slow motion. All this combined makes Hunter thinks that something's weird is going on and shows a still image of a tornado with a glowing wisp of green. He created a rough simulation of the conditions during the outbreak by using basic weather software at his university's lab, which he shows, and my mind could be playing tricks on me, but the shape makes me think of some type of creature. Could just be me seeing something there. Hunter goes on to tell us that these conditions are impossible without some kind of X factor that would be needed if the software's simulation is anything to go by. He decided to call this anomaly the phenomenon, but he still needs more data to prove its existence. He shows us this screen, which I have no idea what this is. He goes on to say that the storms almost seem like they're heads of a snake, and the phenomenon is the root of all of it, and thus it's why he called the theory the Hydra theory, which clever Hunter. Clever. I like it. He also fears that things will be getting a lot worse if he and others can't uncover what's behind it soon. We cut to black, and our poster interjects, saying that the following footage is May 8th, 2005, in Sterling, Oklahoma, and it's the twin tornado incident. We're watching Hunter's footage now, starting off with him driving and interjecting where he's going and doing with his blue screen. Eventually, he parked on Northeast 19th Street to look west to watch the tornado touch down at 6:51 p.m. He interjects saying that the tornado had intercepted Sterling and is heading steady southeast. He continued to videotape the tornado before white text appears over the footage, explaining that the second funnel touched down right behind him. We see footage of the second funnel before he ran and drops down into a ditch. We barely see the tornado coming as the footage began to glitch again. What we do see for sure is a green glow right in the winds before the camera glitches again, but stabilizes when Hunter is getting out of the ditch before it glitches once more and is extremely pixelated. The next thing we see clearly, with mild glitches, is one of the tornadoes, which seems to have green lightning coming out of it and strikes the ground all around it. We cut once more to both of the tornadoes together in one shot. The one on the left having two balls of green light, and the right having just one. It lingers before it cuts to the aftermath, with downed trees and trees that had their trunks snapped in half. Then we cut to the black screen, where the poster explained that the twin tornado incident had left 30 people with major injuries and 76 with minor. He said that the first tornado was at F3 strength and the second was at F1 strength. A screen is showing the approximated path the two tornadoes took. The poster continued on, saying the cause of the green lights within the tornado funnels remained unknown. Then the video ends. This is a video that immediately got me planning to do this video. There hasn't really been a lot of analog horror that deals with tornadoes, so I am invested. Now, this first video didn't give a lot for us to go on, other than what Hunter theorized and or knows, and we will know less before we know more. So on to the second video. It's titled The Primordial Maelstrom, and it was posted on June 12th, 2026, and starts with a flash of exports archives, then archive 1. Our poster tells us that the footage is from July 28th, 2004, and that he found the video file unpublished on the website. It was captured by Hunter Graves near Duncan, Oklahoma. Then we cut to footage of Hunter with another person driving around. We soon find out that it's his brother, Marco, and it was before Hunter went to college in Texas. They talk, catch up before heading back into Marco's truck, before Marco gets a call. We can hear a voice on the phone, though there's a bit of interference. Luckily, what was said was transcribed. Marco, can you hear me? Marco, they're coming for you, says something unclear. Marco, you need to run, says something unclear. Marco said that it was their dad, which Hunter doesn't believe, as the dad was missing for 2 years at this point. It eventually cuts to the two at Marco's place, outside, and we spend some time watching them talk before Marco heads inside to use the bathroom. He comes back out and tells Hunter about a tornado warning before we cut to them inside. We cut again, and Hunter's filming the TV where it showed the storm tracker. When he peeks outside the window, it's pitch black, which is very concerning since it is only 3:12 p.m. We then cut to outside, with the wind howling in the microphone. The tornado sirens start going off, and in the distance, we hear thunder, and we see green flashes in the clouds. Then, he ran back to the house, ran back inside before looking out the window, and we see a large tornado, 2 balls of green light with green flashes behind it, and 4 sub-vortices that looked almost like tentacles coming out of the sides. Now, may I say, this scene is a scene that cemented, that stilled my resolve to do this video. Because, I mean, look at this thing. It's like a nightmare tornado, and I am very much here for it. The brothers made their way down to the basement, over to a part in the corner, and Hunter pushed Marco to anchor himself to it with a belt. But it was too late, and the tornado had hit the house. After some glitches, we get a clear and complete look in the eye of the tornado. Green glows swirl around them, and up at the top is something that I can't really describe. I'm not sure if it's a machine, if it's organic, or another creature entirely. What we do know for sure, Hunter screams for Marco, as we see his brother get carried up towards the thing. Just before Marco reached it, a green symbol flashed. 1 large circle with 4 intersecting circles within. The image cuts out, but we can still hear the tornado sirens and the overpowering wind. We cut to 4:11 p.m., where we see a bloody hand laying on the road next to a field as sirens wail. In the distance, we see ruins, buildings, I'm pretty sure. The camera lens is busted, and the hand stays still until it begins to twitch and move. The screen cuts to black, and the poster informs us that Hunter was in the hospital for 3 days afterwards. His brother's body had never been found. The poster adds that it was a year after, in May 2005, where Hunter began to upload videos to his website. Hunter's intro plays. An image that explains Hydra theory is shown before we cut to a radar image of a storm. Hunter, using his voice, explained that between May 3rd to May 8th, 2005, there had been a tornado outbreak in Oklahoma, the same one in the previous video in Norman. He re-shows the 2 images about the tornado's path that we saw in the previous video. He talks about the green light, saying that people contributed to bolt lightning, but he pointed out that the storms captured on camera show that it's unlikely. He reiterates some information that we know before the video glitches and cuts out, leaving us with the poster once more. They mentioned how many of the files were corrupted in a similar way to the current one on the site. He theorized that there was an effort to erase the site before the poster had gotten access to it. He also mentioned that a second file was stored in the site's archive, and the metadata showed that this one was recorded in August 2004. We are shown the video, which was just a shot of a TV. On the TV was an ad for Seraphix Web Solutions before the program that Hunter was watching came back on, a documentary. It was one about the Duncan tornado, and here we find out that 710 people died by this tornado, while thousands more were injured. This tornado had been given the name Primordial Maelstrom, and the narrator states a meteorological research firm based out of Texas, Cyclone Shelf, had begun researching this particular tornado. The TV began to glitch before it's turned off. There were strange noises happening before the door suddenly swung open. There was another strange noise before something began to show itself. We only see thin, dark, stick-looking things before Hunter grabs the camera and the footage cuts. I have no clue what this thing could even be. I have no theories or anything. Anyways, the poster mentioned that Hunter had never mentioned anything about the two events when the two first met, and that Hunter never posted any videos referencing these events on the site. The video ends with export at the top, with the bottom reading archival material, July 28th, 2004 to May 9th, 2005, November 2005, expert LLC. So in this video, we learn some things, but we don't really know anything except for a possible reason why Hunter wants to learn the truth about these tornadoes. Keeping all this in mind, let's move on to the second channel of the series, Seraphix Web Solutions. It was created on May 16th, 2026, sits at around 170 subs as of the recording of this video, and has just one video. And this video is the one we partly saw as a commercial in the previous video. So we can just to the last half of this video. Now this video was posted the same day this channel was created, meaning it was posted a month prior to the second video of the other channel. Now the later half of the video is just an emergency alert system going on with the usual stuff, but we don't see where the tornado warning is for. In the description, we got a series of letters, numbers, and symbols. Thanks to Mr. Man in the comments. If we use base 64 to decode it, we would get solenoid. Solenoid? It's one of those pronunciations. The meaning of this word was elaborated on by Bojangle Dinkler. The letter also tried to see if it was a backwards link, and it said that the video isn't available anymore. It could be something to do with the series, or just coincidence, and completely unrelated. Who knows at this point. Now, going back to the first channel, we come upon the video entitled Inside Solenoid.mov, and it was posted on June 22nd, 2026. Now, the second half of the name is the same word we figure out after decoding. The first thing we see is the word ghost voice before it is replaced by file retrieval 1. It then shows us a dataset info that was acquired on November 14th, 2005. The server designation is Seraphix main/eternal with the file path main-b/eternal-data/info/training. There's no reiterating what the info says before saying that there was no firewall attached. Then it changes to an image that has something, coils, whatever you want to call them, with Seraphix's logo below it. And to the right, it reads Type Z3 Solenoid COM Generator. The screen cuts to a dark blue screen with the same thing, and we then realize that it's a solenoid generator. And the angle is just top down. We zoom in, and the top comes off, giving us a look into the generator. Yellow words appear telling us that it's a pleromic tissue composite. From what we can see, it looks like the usual technological stuff, but with what looks like to be flesh, maybe even brain tissue. Then multiple diamonds and circles shape appear, and over in the corner it says Runic base in yellow. The generator appears again, but this time from another angle, entitled Exterior Sections. We zoom in slightly, and now there's 4 names with each pointing to their respective things: orbital magnet, channel probes, main tissuing, and sub-tissuing. We got to Seraphix archive document number 4516 with protopleroma extract process in the middle. Be very prepared about me saying that incorrectly a lot. I probably blame how late it is because it is 10:37 right now. Back to the video, we see everything in night vision. And what we see is a hand with possible cuts and tube coiling. The hand is twitching, letting us know whoever this is, they're still alive. We cut to a base rune analysis. There's words in the circles, in the connecting tunnels for the lack of a better word, and outside of it. One circle is labeled Victory, with the tunnel that branched off to the right being labeled as Nadzak. Below that, I'm not sure. Only thing I can make out is World 710, I think. Next, we see a face of a person. This camera is labeled as Trauma.1 Response, and had seemed to be going on for a while. We linger on them before we cut to a camera that's labeled Proto-Fluid. The only thing we can hear is someone crying. We go back to the rune analysis and we see more of the middle section. At the bottom, we see Yao Knowledge. Under might be Neat or Night. And under that is Death. I thought it's a death, but I'm pretty sure it has two A's in the middle. I can't really make any sense above that other than the world of the, or the words of the. It's one of those. Now, at the top of the circle, we see something inside of it. It could look like a man, could look like an interpretation of God. I'm not sure yet. The words above it is macro prosopus. Below the circle reads the grown God. Or the crown god. And something. The right word target lock is seen before it cuts. One thing about this rune, I didn't realize it, but when I looked up macro prosopus, I saw an image that looks vaguely like this rune, which is the Kabbalistic tree of life from Judaism. Next, we see the arm of the person this time, and it's twitching upward in a way it shouldn't be doing with something moving behind the hand. We see the face again, but this time they're screaming. The footage glitches, the sound distorts, and another documentation title card appeared. This one with the number 4517. This one is labeled Pleuromic Tissue Synthesis. We see a green cell from a microscope. Then we see an up-close view of it. Then we see the construction of a solenoid generator. It cuts to some notes about what we saw, which you can pause to read what's being said here. The video ends with the name Ghost Voice once more. Down in the description, it also says Ghost Voice, with a 1 after it. So what can I say about the info that we received? Well, I don't trust Seraphix at all. I think they are behind the tornado somehow. Ghost Voice, I think, is another organization entity that wants to expose Seraphix. I also have zero idea who the person we see would be. Alas, we can't stay stuck on this, so let us continue onward to the next video, which is the last video, at least at this moment. The fifth video is entitled Texas Super Outbreak and was posted July 21st, 2026. It starts with a usual export intro with Archive 2 before our poster tells us that the video we're about to watch was uploaded to Hunter's site in late June 2005. This video had gained some notoriety online that led to Hunter's initial following, but it also began his live in hell. Hunter's intro plays, and he began to speak over some footage of a weather radar. He brings up a device that he made using equipment around his school's lab. On the bottom corner, we see snake venom. Or is it venom? I can't tell. Let's go with venom. Anyways, it's a vortex analysis sample collection device. that will launch a probe into the tornado to collect rainwater samples. In the prototype 3 image, it kind of looks like a prototype Dorothy. I know, it was probably a coincidence, and I'm the only one who sees it. Anyways, moving on. He goes on to say that the hardest part is to put it in the path of a tornado, which, yeah, with how unpredictable most tornadoes' movements are, better have some good luck. Luckily, the climate models have shown a probability for an outbreak in northern Texas that will happen in less than 6 hours. The date, June 24th, 2005, popped in after, with the time stated to be 6:33 p.m. And we're in Greenwood, Texas, which we then caught to driving in the area before the words "can be" is shown on a black screen. Then we're in the perspective of "can be." We see Hunter moving the camera around before we see it be stationary, trained on snake venom, with the storm clouds coming up from the distance behind it. After a few seconds, the tornado sirens began to blare. Side note, I tried to see if there was anything in the flashes of the clouds, but nothing jumped out at me. If you saw anything in the clouds when the lightning continues to flash, make sure to let me know. Next scene, we're back in Hunter's car. Rain's pouring, the sirens are still blaring. Then we're in another scene, this time of a tornado touching down. We're back with snake venom as the tornado approached, the form of it gaining more and more color, growing darker until a glitch later, it was a fully formed tornado, and it's coming straight for camera B as snake venom. The camera glitches before stabilizing again. Camera B is now up in the air, orbiting the tornado as a green light appears near the top. We can hear a strange groaning sound before camera B cuts out one final time. When we meet back with Hunter, he's driving in the rain still, and it's nighttime. The tornado warning begins to play on the radio, saying that it's now a tornado emergency. For those who don't know, tornado emergencies is a step up from tornado warning. It's to convey the severity and dangerousness a tornado could have. Back to the broadcast, it said that 15 tornadoes had touched down in Midland County. We then cut to a scene where we see 4 tornadoes in a row, and I believe the same groaning sound is heard. We cut to a news report about the outbreak. It said that this was the most costly outbreak in U.S. history, as the damages totaled at about $3 billion. Can I say these tornadoes had it out for Midland County, as in 12 hours, 132 tornadoes struck the county. The death toll is up to 700 people. Because of this, it became a national weather emergency. And here's Seraphix Web Solutions again, which we find out is a Kansas-based startup. It's been reported that they want to purchase the flattened land around Midland County so they can do construction of new data centers there. And, yep, I do not trust this company at all. Even if they do say that these centers are crucial in the U.S. developing communication infrastructure. We cut to black, where the poster speaks to us, saying that he isn't sure if the last cut was intentional. They go on to say that the next video file was hidden on the side as well. Apparently, it's included in a list that Hunter gave them, and it was of the files that the poster shouldn't publish for their own safety. And of course, the poster did not hate the list at all. He just posted it for everyone to see, to give us nightmares. Good going, poster! Now, before we know it, we were back in the car with Hunter. He was heading back to retrieve his device to see if it had collected any data. We cut to another scene, black rubble against the reds and yellows of the sky. I was a bit confused on what the background is. I thought it was the glow of a fire, but I think it's just probably just a weird colored sunset. Who knows? Could be a fire. Next scene, it's night. Hunt is walking with the wind howling. He films some of the wreckage left behind by the tornado with flashes of heat lightning in the clouds behind it as we hear sirens in the distance. He calls out, asking if anyone needed help, but there's no response. So he continued on. There's thunder in the distance and a downed tree he walks past before he finally finds the device. Only a black box, still hooked up, and some other things were left from the device. Then, distant screaming. The screaming was answered by a loud, roar-like sound. Hunter pans and we see a giant creature holding a woman. The creature was spindly, for the lack of a better term, with spikes all over it. It brought the head, or spike, I can't really tell if it's holding the woman in its hand or if it had skewered her, up to its head, causing the woman to scream before it gets cut off when the creature bites down. Hunter ran, and we can hear the creature following after him. He stops to catch his breath, and when he pans up, we see another glimpse of the creature before he takes off running again. Then, the scene cuts. The post is back. They say that their public image can't protect them anymore, and that Hunter was right. They go on to say that the world needs to know the truth. It ends with an export archive thing, and in the description, it reads, "This was the beginning of Hunter's notoriety. Like him, I don't know if I can keep this up." And for right now, that is the end of Hydra Theory. Until the next time they post another video, which hopefully will be soon. Now let's go over some of the theories I thought of. It's nothing concrete, it's just theories that popped into my head while watching these videos. And I haven't really made up my mind about them yet. Now, it's possible that the thing we saw in video 2 and video 3, the generator, could be the same thing. The thing in video 2 could very well be a generator, and Seraphix is behind it all for some reason. Either to get land for data centers, or for something else entirely. And I don't think those data centers are for what they said they were for. Next is the creature. I'm not entirely sure about it. It could be man-made, could be naturally occurring, which I doubt for obvious reasons, or it could be something else entirely, like monstrous falling angel, or something. I also don't know if it follows the tornadoes to pick survivors out to eat them, or if it's connected in any way to Seraphix. I found this series when I least expected it. It didn't come from another YouTuber like Wendigoon or anyone. I just sort of found it. As first impressions went, I was impressed. You don't really see analog horror about tornadoes, so it's a breath of fresh air. I'm intrigued to see what this series goes in the future, and will be sitting waiting for the next entry. Now, the links to the channels and websites and such will be in the description down below. I thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next video. This is Kyra, signing off.